Yo, what's good? It's your boy L Train Locomotive. Back to you live with another stream episode. This one specially titled uh, The Alexanderson Initiative. Yeah. Today we're gonna be doing a tutorial about my homie, white man, Lars Alexanderson. So like I've had like people who wanted to learn the character, like come up to me and say, well, how do I do this? How do I do that? So I decided to do a pretty detailed tutorial that hopefully by the time it's done will help you, find the way, and you basically eventually get to where you're trying to be playing Lars. So first off, I'm gonna just briefly describe Lars' playstyle. Lars' playstyle is pretty. First of all, he can be played at a very fast pace. Poke heavy, has some of the best mids in the game. So to pretty much like try to open your opponent up to make mistakes, and you capitalize on them. He has arguably best punishment in the game, in my opinion, or some. He's at least ranked in the top 5, the top echelon of punishment. So definitely, I'm going to show you his tools, of course. I don't know if some of you guys, y'all might have watched the punishment tutorial that I did, and that pretty much was showing some of his capability of punishment, but I'm gonna just get into it, specifically, since I'm just focused on him. Now, one thing about Lars is, like I said, we're gonna go back to the punishment tutorial. With him, having excellent spacing will reward you a lot. Meaning, basically, what I'm getting at is that he's a very, he rewards fundamentally sound play. And when you're fundamentally sound with him, it'll take you a very long way, because especially if it's a level, whether it's walls, or if you need a whole lot of carry to get across stage, like whatever situation, like he fits, he can get the job done. So, but I'm just gonna go over the basics real quick. Of course, some of his key moves, of course, down forward 1. This is a move you'll use a lot. Like basically, when you're trying to get in and out of like range, and that move right there, you see how far it goes? So you pretty much right there, about that range, because that's about, I want to say, just outside of sweep range, and it goes in that far. So one of the best down forward ones in the game. So definitely that's one button you want to abuse, but make sure you pretty much line it up. Don't just recklessly throw it out. Like pretty much hover around this range. That's around like outside of sweep range, and then just or you run up close, because it's safe. This is only -1, so you can't be punished for doing it. So that's one of his best tools. That's a tool you should use a lot if you are a Lars player. I don't know if you watched, I think it was the movement tutorial, but I basically posted a list of the top 15 moves of each character, and like I said, I pretty much agree with that list, because it was definitely pretty spot on when it was talking about the moves, and down 4-1 was on the list, so definitely legit. Another move of his that's gonna be your best friend, especially when it comes to stuff like whiff punishing, especially if you hover around, like I said, around this sweep, just outside of sweep range area, he's pretty sweet when it comes to whiff punishing. But One of his tools I was mentioning, or about to mention, is the orbital heel. Yes. Very good move. It is safe on block. Has nice range, as you can see. Like I said, from right there. And, you know, you pretty much, that's going to be one of your go-to tools for, like, if a whiff occurs and you're like about at this range and they whiff a button and then you just catch them when they come forward. But definitely one of his best tools that he has. And of course it leads to a combo, as you can see. And like I said, great wall, it leads to some great wall carry. That's another pro about Lars, is that his wall carry is like very, very good. It's among the top half of the cast. So levels with walls, he just does like ridiculous damage to, since he can get you to the wall and really rack up those damage points. But like I said, up 4-4, definitely one of the tools you're gonna abuse. Another tool, because like I said, with your movement is down back 2-1, which is mid safe, and that's another tool you're gonna abuse because it keeps them going forward, safe on block, can't really get away from you. They lowered the tracking down compared to T6, but like I said, if you move and like just use it when necessary or when the situation calls for it, you know, still get it going. Still, you know what I'm saying? Great move. Also, in certain matchups, that move does wonders. Case in point, if you are fighting Eddie, that move is your best friend. Like, because right when they're about to sit down, that picks them right back up. And then you basically do this, to juggle them in the air, then you do the new down 4-2-1, you get a full combo conversion. So he's definitely, if you sit down on Lars, he has a way to get you off the ground and get that damage going. So down back 2-1, like I said, very good range. Just outside of that sweep range, the second one will hit you. And then even sometimes, even if you don't want to fully complete the move, you can just do down back 2. And that's like a nice reaching tool. You know, definitely like one thing that makes Lars a solid character, in my opinion, is his grand plethora of great mids. Like he has probably, I think, honestly, the best mids in the game because they all have good range, they're safe, they control range if you like really got your spacing crispy. So yeah, man, I really like love his mids. But yeah, down back 2-1. Another move that's gonna be your best friend, and it's one of his punishment tools, is his blue ball move. And that move is the notation forward back 2-1, or for people who aren't fully familiar with Tekken notation, that's forward back triangle square. Forward back triangle square. So he would do that. Great move. Like I said, has range, has pretty good range. And it's a punisher. It leads to a launch situation. And then of course you can get the tail spin going once you land it. Well, I gotta do a jab first. Yeah. Get the tail spin going, wall carry, cash, and the damage. Now this move is a 14 frame launcher. So pretty much launches 14 frame or higher move on block. Let's see here, I believe. Give you a quick example here. Let's see, is that the sway elbow? I believe that, yeah, okay. As you can see, punish that. Punish that. Punish that. Punish that. Punish it. So yeah, as you can see, very good move. Lars is one of the few characters in the game that has a 14 frame launcher. Not many characters in the cast can launch at 14 frames. So definitely a valuable tool to have. Be sure to, as while you're practicing your punishment, that's one of your key tools that you use, because that is a very great punisher. I don't see too many punishers being better than that. And so definitely learn to get used to. My advice when you're trying to use it to per se catch a whiff punish, because I get a lot of people. It was a guy that came into stream. He was watching from overseas, and he was asking. He said, you know, how do I consistently get it if I'm trying to whiff punish? And the best thing to do to make sure your notation fully comes out, because sometimes you might get that's back 2-1, and you want to make sure your forward registers. And this problem existed even back in Tag 2, because when you're hitting forward and moving forward. Oh yeah, what's up, Batman, Cloud9 Batman. I don't know if that's my dude Demetrius, but I don't know. You can tell me in the chat in a second. But yeah, that move is very good. That move is like I said, 14 frame launcher. Launches -14 and higher. And like I said, it leads to that good old tail spin. So you want to use that. You want to use that. But yeah, like I was saying beforehand, to get it for like the whiff punish game going. So let's say you want to just put yourself back in neutral and then input the move. So you see that whiff punish? Yep, sit neutral then input it. Because it's 14 frames, so it's fast enough to, you know, pretty much still catch the whiff. And there you go. Yeah, but so that's definitely gonna be one of your useful tools when using Lars. Be sure to practice that, because you need that move in your arsenal. It punishes a lot of notable moves that you see from characters. So definitely get your practice on when it comes to that move. Another new useful move, I said that a little bit prematurely, but it is new, is his brand new down forward 2-1. Now, this move replaces the old down forward 2 that he used to have in Tag 2 and Tag 6. I mean, Tekken 6, excuse me. So, with that, he used to get like the gut check, which was on counter hit, it led to a combo. But it was only on counter hit. Outside of counter hit, that move was completely useless. So, but most people like to just brainlessly throw it out in hopes of getting the counter hit. And that's the honest truth. That's why a lot of people are complaining, because they can't just do that no more. But this new move more than makes up for it. First off, let me show you what it looks like. Pretty much that. That's brand new to this game. Now that move, of course, great range. As you can see, great range. Like, it's one of the better whiff punishers in the game as well. So remember, keep in mind when you're playing them that you have blue vault, and you also have this new down forward 2-1. So you got two great whiff punishers at your disposal. Just make sure to recognize, like, you know, what whiff's in front of you, because like I said, blue vault is 14, but you have to hit the forward back. So it works like Brian's jet upper, where you got to hit the forward back and then 2. So keep that in mind. And then, so sometimes in some situations, you know, this down forward 2-1 may be better to use. It just recognize the situation, if anything. So but like I said, and then no counter hit needed to get the tail spin. That automatically makes it a dangerous move, because you don't need counter hit. It's a natural tail spin, and it's hit confirmable. So, like, as soon as you land that, that's gonna. That's why I'm like, this move is very good. This move is very good. It's very good. So, look at that. You really can't whip on this guy against someone who has godlike spacing. And another good part about it, it crushes highs. So if a person does a high to you, so like let's just have him do a basic 1-2 string or something. So case in point, let's say you move and you like right here and then that's counter hit and it went under the hit. There you go. Wait. As you see, no, crushed. So yeah, so that move crushes highs, it goes under highs. So you cannot just recklessly run up and jab, which to me is pretty valuable since it leads to a natural tailspin combo. That's a very valuable tool. People tried to argue with me that people it's nothing like the old down 4-2-1 and it's nothing like, and I'm like, first off, y'all trying to tell me about the character, and I've been playing him since 6, so I know a lot about this character. I'm not just picking him up for the first time in this game, and it's like I said, the old down 4-2 was only good on counter hit. So if you can't find me a use for that move outside of counter hit, then how is it better than this new move? So anyway though, moving on. So that's gonna be another great whiff punisher that you got from this guy that he has. Now, like I said, you got blue ball and you also have this now. So remember practice those two tools a lot. Because you definitely, and by the way, the startup on down 4-2-1, I believe, is 16 frames. I think it's 16 or 15. I have to check. But I know it could pretty much launch a very unsafe move that's like above -15 for sure. So that's another move. Now, next move that's very useful. Of course, we all know it. We all love it. It's the trademark move of Mr. Alexanderson. Y'all should know what I'm talking about. Arc Blast. That good old 15 frame launcher that just rains havoc on everybody that goes against him. Whether it's a full-on assault arc blast from the front, or side back arc blast, or sidestep arc blast, or sidewalk arc blast, or backdash arc blast, whichever. Or forward dash arc blast. Like whichever variation of way you're gonna use the move, it definitely drives people crazy. But this is, like I said, trademark move. You definitely want to have this in your arsenal if you're gonna use Lars, because you're not fully using them if you're not using the arc blast, baby. So, like I told you, 15 frames. So anything that's -15 and higher, you get sent to the sky. Let's show an example. Let's see, what's a -15 move on block? I'm just gonna show you on block. Let's see, it's Stinger, I think Stinger elbow. Oh no, but I can make it with. I'm trying to think what exactly is, oh yeah, it's -12. I'm trying to think of what's a -15 move with Dragunov. Let me see. I don't think mass elbow is -15. No, it's not. Oh, it is. Okay. Yeah, mass elbow is -15. Okay. I knew one of the elbows was like mad negative. So as you can see, Arc Blast punishes that free. Very free. And then of course, go ahead and get that damage. Oh well, I messed that up. See, look at that wall carry. One more time. And then you just got options, man. And that's one of his best ones. I fought. Can't reach him in time for that one, but so we're just gonna do the alternate. Wait. Mm, uh, uh. But yeah, you get the concept though. But yeah, that's basically this move is gonna be like one of your best friends when it comes to using Lars because the wall is so weird on this level. That's why it's missing. But that is your best friend. That's like if it was a verse in the Bible, it'd be like one of the most known ones. If it was, there's something to live and die by when it comes. If that was the live or die by move with Lars, is that one. Now, beware of how often you use it because it is negative 15. I mean negative 14. Excuse me. It's negative 14 on block. So even though it's not necessarily launch punishable by most of the cast, some characters can. So in certain matchups, be aware like Brian, I believe Kazuya. Let's see who else. Trying to think of who else can launch him at 14 frames. But yeah, if a character has a 14 frame launcher, oh yeah, Law, he got the new 344. That's 14 frames. So beware, or be aware, I should say, of the matchup that you're going against, and just remember. And then like characters who can't launch, like your Steves, your Bobs, characters of that nature that don't have a 14 frame launcher, you can abuse that move. Of course, don't just senselessly do it and then just keep eating damage just for the hell of it. But maybe like just check their awareness and make them, see if they'll even punish it or not. Because if they can't get a launch, they're gonna be like, oh man, so. With that being said, Art Glass, get to know it, love it. With spacing, you can definitely use it as a whiff punisher. But it's probably out of all your tools, it's probably the hardest to use with a whiff punisher. Art Glass is gonna definitely take some time to develop being a good whiff punisher because you got to be like within that range at least to make it work. So make some. Maybe sit neutral and they whiff right in front of you and then you just react and punish with it. And, what's another? What was I about to say? Oh yeah, interrupting strings with it. So you may be backdashing. Let me show you a visual example. I'm trying to think what's a good one. Let's see what this one is. Okay, yeah, that's a good one. Okay, so see? Interruption. But remember when you're getting away from a string, like make sure the whole animation comes out, of course. When you're trying to interrupt the string, and then but you can interrupt it at multiple points. So get in the lab and see all the points you can interrupt strings, and then there you go. You running into a plethora of damage then. So yeah, so be sure to practice that. Get good with it. And make it scary to the point where because the thing with Lars, the great thing with Lars is that when you punish somebody consistently with him, you can almost make the person fear to do anything. And that's when you got them right where you want them in. Because once you can condition the opponent, now there are some opponents that can be conditioned. But even for players like that, Lars, as you can see, has the plethora of tools to wreck somebody for getting too brash and too reckless. So be sure to hone these tools, get good using them, because like I said, you're going to have, especially Art Blast, is going to be one of your go-to tools. Like I said, whether you interrupting the string like I just showed by backdashing and looking for the gap, or sidestepping, or side walking, or backdash and then they run into it, or even forward dash, or even forward dashing and then doing that. And then even from a distance, there's another trick. I'm actually, well, you know what? I'll show you that when I get to that. But okay, next tool. Now this is one of the riskier moves of Lars, so I would not, and I repeat, I would not recommend abusing it. Just be sure to mix it in to your offense, and that is forward, 4-3, or for people who don't know Tekken notation, that's forward, circle, X. And that's that move. Very damaging low to mid, but the problem is that it's launch punishable. Now the downside about Lars is that his lows are all unsafe. That's unsafe, but didn't mean to show you that one yet. But it's not really, it's a useful move, but not as useful. But yes, this is launch punishable. So my suggestion on using that move is like you want to mix it in with a plethora of your mids that you got. So like, remember what I showed you earlier, down back 2-1, or the first half of down 4-2-1 by just doing down 4-2. That's basically that. And then when they open, when they let their guard down a little bit because they're looking for all these mids that you throwing at them, then you slide it in there and it does a grip of damage. Now, you cannot immediately attack after that because you are not plus after that move, unfortunately. So the best thing to do after you land that is to wait, maybe backdash, and if they whiff, use one of your tools. You know what I'm saying? Or, like I said, you got 4. Once you cause this to happen and you backdash and they press something, you got 4 tools on deck already to hurt them for what they about to do. And they about to eat a boatload of damage. So this is what I mean by making the mistakes and having them capitalize, or as a Lars player, you capitalize on them getting eager to press a button after that. So, like I said, with that low, you want to mix it in. You got to mix that low up. You can't just recklessly do it unless I wouldn't even recommend it even if a person isn't really blocking too well, because then they'll block it that one time and then you just eat a whole lot of damage for it. So with that being said, try to guise that. Like, try. Even and then every time you get the first hit, like, finish it, because once this lands, the second hit is guaranteed. It is not one of those things where it don't gel or nothing like that. No, it's a full, as you can see, it's comboing. So, but do not abuse it. Like I said, mix it in. Use your plethora of mids, like the ones I showed you, and yeah, open them up and then go for it. And then, like I said, once they press a button right after they get hit by that, then use one of them tools I showed you, man. Or you got four weapons waiting for what they do right after that. 4 of them. Use them. So next up, we got another great mid. Like I said, Lars is full of great mids. That's what you're gonna like about this character. Back 1, which is his homing move, so you can't sidestep. Nice and fast. Is safe on block, and new to this game, thanks to of course this being Tekken 7. When you launch, it tail spins, which is a little buff that he got for the move. So, and then it puts the body at a position to where if you want to follow up with something, you really can, as you can see. So this move, you definitely, like I said, play around in this range and then maybe dance in between. And they try to sidestep, you know, in the jab. And there you go, man. Like, you can really dance and really like keep a fierce attack going mid. Like, look at all these mids. You can't duck me. You know, sidestepping is gonna be kind of difficult. Like I said, it's just the plethora of mids, like I was telling you. And that is one of his best ones. Like I said, you can't sidestep it. It's quick, it's safe on block. So definitely use this tool. Especially if you're fighting a person that's very sidestep happy, that move, check them every time. And as you can see, when it hits, it knocks them back. So you can either sit neutral, back up a little bit, wait for the whiff hit. This is why I say Lars is a fundamentally rewarding character. I'm going to reiterate that every time, every single time. He rewards strong fundamental play. So if you're doing simple things such as whip punishes, you know, maybe block punishment even too. So like, he's really rewarding of you just playing solid. He's a solid character. That's why I say the character isn't built for everybody. Like, people that want to just go crazy, he used to could do that when his tools were way more broken, like in Tekken 6 when his tracking was retarded and stuff like that. But now you got to be a little more on the money with him. Now you have to actually like know how to play him. You can't just go nuts with him and just do moves that just have absurd tracking and stuff like that. You gotta be a little more calculated with him. That's why I said he's not for everybody this go around. He's only made for people who like really want to invest into playing them and things of that nature. So that was down 4-2. Now, another infamous move that's also a great tool, and especially if you use it correctly. Another infamous, the infamous up 4-3, or AKA lightning screw, or up 4X for those who don't know Tekken notation. Now, we all know this is another trademark move of Lars. Move, it doesn't crush as nearly as good as it did in 6. 6, it literally crushed almost anything that was thrown at it. That was too broken. It was almost like having a DP. And whenever you get pressured, you could just throw that out, and then it will lead to basically something of this nature happening. And shoulder, of course. But like, and now you lost a boatload of life just because that crushed everything. Well, they nerfed it considerably. Like, it crushes, but not just on no dummy stuff where I can just do it and then I'm gonna beat you. No, you actually have to use it in situations that you know, it should naturally crush something. Like wrong move. Hold on. Of course, we know that with Dragon off. Now, see, that got crushed. So, yeah. And that makes sense because it's a low and you're pretty much going over. But yeah, so with that being said, you want to use that move. It still crushes me. It's too, like, it crushes stuff. You just can't crush anything no more. So again, you can't just be reckless with it. You have to have some type of brain while using it. I definitely suggest going to the lab with that move and practicing and seeing what it crushes so you can recognize when to go to it. It's a punisher too. It's 16 frame startup. So if something is negative 16 and higher, you can launch it, you know what I'm saying, and go straight to the wall with it. So you got another launcher at your hands, of course. Like I said, one of his key moves, one of his trademark moves, one of his known moves. Like Arc Blast and that is like the two moves that are associated with Lars. So practice using that, you know, like I said, look at the situations. If you see a low come, like I said, it crushes most lows still from what I know. It doesn't really lose the low as much. But like Mids, it could lose to certain mids, it could lose to certain highs. It's not as crush happy as it used to be. So yeah, be wary of that when using it. Next useful move. And this is, of course, I like it because it's on Oki situations when people like get up wrong or guess thinking you about to throw a low or something like that, and it gives them a hard knockdown, and therefore I can get something else. So it's sidestep 2 or sidestep triangle. And basically you would sidestep and just hit triangle or hit 2. And it's not plus on block, but it's safe, so you can't be punished for doing it, but you can't immediately press a button right after it too. I think it's like -9, I believe. But you know, knockdown, as you can see, knockdown and then get a free stump. So as you see, useful move, especially at the wall. Like at the wall, most people, you know, let's say you get a wall splat, then they get up ducking, and you get free damage. Now, peek the damage you just did. Now, let's say you wall splat with that. Well, did that wrong. Say you get 70. That's 7. Now, and then they guess wrong. They guess wrong and end up eating that. That's another 36. 106 gone altogether right there. So definitely a useful move. And like I said, no matter where you are on the screen, you'll get the stuff. So I think that's a buff to the move because they're combos. So keep in mind when you get that as a hard knockdown. And like I said, it's safe on block. You can't be punished. You can't be punished for using it. So don't go ham with it. Like I said, what you want to do is when the character blocks it, I'm just going to show you real quick. When the character blocks, you're still relatively close, as you can see. So, like I said, it's not your turn. So, best thing is block, or when you get that, maybe backdash a little bit, you know, just to see what they do after you throw that move out. Because most people don't really do too much when you throw this out. And you can actually take advantage of that if they don't. You may bag up, maybe do one backdash or backdash cancel and see if they might try a string. So you've got a few options. And definitely try to utilize, pay attention, be aware what's going on. And if they don't move, then like I said, continue. You can pretty much bag up and then continue your offense, or wait for them to whiff, or whatever decision you decide to make. Let's see, what's another? Am I leaving anything out? Those are pretty much his key things. Like I said, I can show you a little bit more moves that you may see a lot. 4-4, 3+4, or 4 forward, X plus O, which is everything all together basically. That move, you definitely want to see this like maybe once or twice a fight, maybe. And it depends on how good the reaction of the opponent that you're fighting. But I mean, you know, I guess it's cool to bring it out. Like sometimes, you know, you can be a scumbag and do it like point blank range. They may not be looking for it, you know, and then you just slide it in there out of nowhere. You know, but don't, like I said, it's launch punishable, so do not go crazy with it. You know, be aware of what's going on. And be aware if your opponent has like sharp reactions or not. If you got sharp reactions, I would not really recommend doing that move unless you, possibly get the knockdown. Like you can get the knockdown and then like I said, you get a combo. So that's probably the best time to use it. When you get sidestep 2 and then just input the move right after you land it. So yeah, or like I said, they're just not looking for it. Like you've been hitting them with so much, and then you just do it from like right there, and then they just don't duck. And you're like, oh my god. So like I said, it's one of those sparingly moves, or if you get sidestepped too. So another tactic that I think all Lars players should do. Now we all know, since he's technically the illegitimate son of Heihachi Mishima, he's technically a Mishima. So he somewhat has a wave dash, but it's pretty much just, as you know, his stances. That's silent entry. So when you hit forward after certain strings, this one it automatically does it. But like that or that, what else he has it? Or that, or that. You know, he goes into silent entry. Now, the one where he just goes like this, that's dynamic entry. Now, the reason why I say it's sort of like a wave dash is because you can cancel it and do it over and over. Kind of like how you would do a wave dash, except without the just the use of the D-pad. You're actually, since we know that notation for dynamic entry is forward 3, what you're gonna do is pretty much forward 3, down, forward 3, down, forward 3, down. It's like a motion. It's a rhythm. You definitely got to practice it to develop it. But this is pretty much his form of a wave dash. So yeah, you can use this it closes up space very fast. As you can see, closed up that much space just using it. And it's a tool, it's definitely a useful tool that can induce whiffs. Like somebody may think you about to press a button, you just come in right there and just stop. So yeah, you definitely want to have that in your tool, especially at high level play, because you want whiffs to happen. You want to be able to control that space. You may just do it just to close up the gap and then just to get right back in this range, this just outside of sweep range in case they try to throw out a button, and then you just catch them with one of the tools that you have that reaches. So learn that. What I would recommend doing is on both sides, because you have to be able to do it from both sides, is basically like 10 reps on one side. Then of course, let's see, the other shadows. Here we got, oh no, right. Let's see, position. Yeah, and then, you know, take the time, then go on the other side, and then practice it on that side too. So, because you want to be able to do it from both sides. You do not want to be a one-side warrior. I tell you that, because that's a tool that comes in handy. That's something as a Lars player you want to be able to do. And like I said, since it is a cancel, you can do moves out of it. So kind of like how a wave dash works. Like I said, this is the part that makes him like, oh yeah, he's a machine. So, you know, you come out, do your down forward 1 after the cancel, you know, or maybe you want to stay back and then do back 1. So there's a bunch of, side step 2. So you can literally like just close the gap, like, and then side step 2. So it's definitely one of those tools, like arc blast and like up forward 3, like down forward 2-1 blue ball is definitely one of those tools that you want to get in your arsenal, practice and master it. Because that right there, when people see you moving like this, they get jittery. They can't. And then if they just sit still, well then you just sit neutral and then basically watch what they're gonna do. So like you could literally just do one stop or side step right after you do it. You know, like you have a plethora of options. You have a bunch of options to do after that. And then even cancel and then cancel and then do that into the grab. So it's a move that I would put up there practicing with blue ball. Because because those two tools are definitely something you're going to need to consistently practice, so it could just be in your muscle memory and you just do it right when you see the situation presents itself. So and with that, I believe that's pretty much everything you need to know about Mr. Alexanderson. So be sure to, I will be posting this on my brand new YouTube, so be able to, please subscribe to the new YouTube. It's L Train's Fighting Dojo. I literally just started it today. You know, people kept asking me, am I going to make a YouTube? And am I going to do it? Man, you need to do it. You need to put content on there. You know, whole nine, man. I hope you, well, yo, I've done it. It's out there. So please subscribe, follow. This will be going up on it. I'm going to basically chop it and then put it on YouTube. And this segment will be on there. You'll be able to watch it as many times as you need to. You can use it while you're practicing, Lars. So, like I said, practice, 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 practice. And since that's pretty much what you really need to know when it comes to Lars, that wraps up the Lars initiative. Like I said, get in the lab, practice all the tools I showed you, and yeah. Give people hell with the one they call Alexanderson. Now, I'll be back on to stream again because I'm going to play some ranked, but I got to handle something real quick before I start that. So you can actually be able to tune back in at about 3:30, so about around roughly 30 minutes from now. But yeah, thanks for watching this Lars tutorial. When I post it, please share it, get that information out. I'm thinking about on Facebook making a Lars group and calling it the Alexanderson Initiative, and people can post tech, share information if you're a Lars main or whatnot. You know, just to be another helpful, useful resource to the community. You know what I'm saying? Just trying to, you know, spread that good information. Yeah, Bible. But I'll be back at about 3:30. This wraps up the Alexanderson Initiative. Be sure to hit that follow button on this stream. Like I said, I stream daily. I will be streaming Tekken 7, Injustice 2, and some Street Fighter 5, and even maybe on like Sunday I'll do a random one-player game. So that's Sundays only though. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, and I'll be back at 3:30. Deuces.